Angelo Ellerby, the Henry Higgins of hip-hop, is the founder, president, and CEO.
It's another glorious day, my T-Sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your comfort together because it's time to dish tea. And you're dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meat.
Can't wait. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat.
Darling.
What in the world is going on in the land of cyberspace today, honey? Hello, I'm not going to sing in or whatever, child. I've been trying to get on this damn air for the last hour. Okay? I have had computer issues. The damn thing wanted to shut down, and I had to reboot it. This, she wanted to do an upgrade. This, she's trying to sit up here and get the drivers together. Now she's freezing on me. So all of my videos and stuff that I wanted to play, I'm not going to play them here. I'm just going to do something else and carry on so that we can get through the show, okay? Because this here has become a nightmare. Partly my fault. Let me be as transparent as I can. It's partly my fault, children, because I believe I got too much on the computer, right? And I'm one who do this all the time. I'm hateful with backing up my files, and I'm also hateful with keeping my computer clean, okay? So I got some video for all this stuff that I've been showing y'all, or whatever I've been downloading here and carrying on, and I think that I may have too many video files on here that's large, and I got to go through and put them on a hard drive or whatever, and all of that, because this girl here, she's giving me all kinds of calamity and changes, okay? So what's your tea? What's your tea? What is your tea, my darlings, honey? It's another glorious day, and you know what time it is, honey, so I hope you have all of your crumpets together, darling, because it's time to dish tea, and you are dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meat. Yes. And to make matters even better today, honey, y'all know we are in anniversary season all month long. It's going to be us in anniversary and carrying on. We're 14 years old. Thank you. 14. And so, yes, honey, we got to get this together. Y'all see my Cash App down there? If you want to be benevolent and carrying on, say happy anniversary, please use the Cash App. And all of your gifts would be greatly appreciated, honey, because we got to pay for all this stuff, honey. I just got, listen, that's the other thing, trying to get in here. I got the red thing across the thing. So, oh, we were unable to bill your card. I forget I pay this yearly. And so my credit card had changed since the time. Now, I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I forget that I pay yearly. So, yeah, the yearly fee is due. Ooh. So y'all be benevolent, honey. That's the Cash App right there to say happy anniversary, honey. It's 14 years. So that's it. Throw $14 on it. 14 is the magic number for you. $14, honey, and your contribution will keep us doing what it is that we do, honey. Okay? Now I'm going to suggest that you do what your heart inspires you to do. If it's just a prayer to say, hey, if it's just sending us some waves to say thank you for being here, we appreciate all of that because we can't do this without you. We appreciate you. Which I love doing this when I'm on the air. Okay, let me bring in Minister Lavelle. Hey, B, what's up?
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
What you know no good up in here today, darling?
Well, we're gonna get down into the nuts and kernels.
Okay, well, how about that?
What they say, nooks and crannies.
Okay, right. How about that today, children? Okay.
Today's word is truth. If you got a problem with it, we'll talk to you later.
Oops. Okay. And that there be that. So, in the interest, you know what? Now that you're here, I showed you a picture. This here is yours.
Oh, that's sexy, though.
I know.
That might take a shot of communion,
huh? Okay. Just for the collection, when I went down to New Orleans for Juneteenth weekend, my New Orleans trip needs to be it's a complete do-over, because we had some mishaps, and yeah, we couldn't do what we wanted to do and carry it on because of the mishap. So my son Brandon and I, we said we're going to have that to be a complete do-over. Okay. Just like my DC trip. My DC trip needs a complete do-over, child. Okay. Yeah. All right. So
yeah,
you know what? That's gonna be the fun thing.
First quarter myself.
Okay. That's gonna be the fun thing tonight, honey. Where did you need to go, honey? What's your do-over? What place did you want to go to that you say, you know what, I need a complete do-over of that? We're gonna scratch the first one and say, nope, that was a trial run, that was the practice test. We're gonna do something else. So put that in the comment section down here. What's your do-over? As a matter of fact, let me see if I can get this to run, and we're gonna run a banner. Okay.
Mine would be Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Mine would definitely be Puerto Rico. Yeah. I think I would have a blast in Puerto Rico knowing the things that I know now. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I could tell you something funny though, right? It would be so crazy because it seemed like everywhere I go when it's another country or somewhere that far, I always found the hood. It's like I got a hood magnet, right? Like I literally was riding as soon as I got there first day, and you know, you see a church's chicken in Puerto Rico, you know, you don't care where you see a church's chicken, you know you're in the hood. You know?
Okay, well, we're international, honey, because someone had just done chime in, and I think this is Arabic, and I don't have no clue what he's saying, honey. But hello there, my darling. Okay.
Just went international.
We are completely. Okay. So let's get started with today's show, dear. Today, I titled today's show, Is There Such a Thing as Toxic Parenting? Okay. And this
There is.
This here stems from, there was this clip that is blowing up Instagram and other places because I've had somebody else send me this particular clip, and then Haji was saying that he was going. I sent it to him, and he was like, "Oh, I was just about to send you that," and carrying on. And I'm like, "Okay, cute, 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 cute. Let's see what we can do here." Now, hold on. I'm going here because I got to get the kids to know what's happening so they could come on in. But like I said, because I'm having problems with the do up, I'm not going to chance trying to upload it here and try to play it because, as y'all saw, if y'all came in right at the opening, um, yeah, you see, we had a mishap with the opening carrying on and all this, that, and that. It was a freezing and this, that, and the other. So yeah, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull the video up here, show the camera here, uh, and then hopefully you guys can see it, and then we're gonna talk about it. Okay. So, the question that I've asked here is, what would you do, or how would you respond? Um, if Well, wait a minute. No, never mind. I got the video. We'll just play the video because it's going to explain itself. Hold on. Oh,
Son, come here. There's booty cheeks out here. You in here looking for chips. And Slim Jims and shit. You ain't gay, is you? Huh? Are you gay? You ain't gay, right? My man. My dog. My young. That's what they were, Jay Nasty.
it's this damn thing.
Son, come here.
What's wrong?
There's booty cheeks out here. You in here looking for chips. And Slim Jims and shit. You ain't gay, is you? Huh? Are you gay?
No, I'm feeding the poor.
You ain't gay, right? My man. My dog. My young.
Okay. So did everybody catch that? Did y'all hear everything clearly?
It was very clear.
Okay. So let me share with y'all some of the because I commented on that, of course. Okay. And now all of us seem to be in agreement on a couple of things. And one of the most hilarious ones, um, someone's okay. Somebody said this nigga makes the roof of my mouth itch for real. This just grooming the little boy. And somebody said, "Do you even understand what grooming means?" Laughing my ass off. That's his son. He has the right to groom him to his beliefs, not yours. Bam. Okay. Uh, and someone says exactly the hypocrisy of the straights. You don't even want your children to be children, just want them to reproduce for you. Okay. Someone else says grooming is when someone builds a relationship and trust emotional connection with the child or young person so they can manipulate, exploit, and abuse them. You seem unclear of the definition. You're welcome. And then this child says, everyone has the right to raise their children to follow their beliefs, but they also have to realize that this is basically indoctrination. Just because it's tradition doesn't mean that it's healthy. One day you may have to be okay with the fact that your kid doesn't want to continue to stay how you raised them. And it goes on. And those are other people. Okay. Now, of course, they got to looking at it and folks are condemning and talking about stuff. You so busy worried about ass and booty and shit when you need to have filled that damn pants because okay. It's bare cabinets up in there, Mother Hubbard. Okay. And this was my comment. My comment was, I said, and this is the bullshit. You say the gays who are well, you say the gays who are indoctrination and recruiting kids into becoming gay, and yet this child is doing what children do when adults are in the room, being a damn child, going to get the snacks and the candy. And daddy brings in a sexual conversation to the child and quote unquote wonders if his son is gay because he ain't out there with all this booty. And this is what father-son bonding moment bullshit. This is a child who probably knows nothing about the dynamics of male-female, male-male, female-female sexual relationships. So why question that? And then high-five him because he said no, as if you are rewarding him for having the right answer. Toxic parenting. I don't care if this is only a moment. He did this moment in front of a damn camera and posted it for the world to see and respond to. So that was my comment on that particular clip. And I still stand behind that comment. But I understand there's different perspectives, and let's explore what they could be. Because I'm fair. And before, let me say this. Let me say this. Because this is complete and total transparency here.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I grew up in a household where my daddy had all of his pornography books and carried on and this, that, and the other and things. So daddy would do his thing. And like he always bought Hustler, Penthouse, and High Society. That was before Players and all that came out, right? And so what daddy would do whenever he got the latest magazines, right? Now, mind you, my daddy is only 16 years older than me. Well, 16 and a half, okay? So mind you, this here, I had to been what? I'm about 7 or 8, okay? Yeah, up in there. So this is 77, 78, up in there, okay? About the same age as this little boy. Daddy takes his magazine across the street, okay, to go show it off. Because, the fellas on the porch, they smoking and shit. So boyfriend is sitting up there, he looking at the magazine. Me and my precocious ass, I look over, right, to see what's going on. Well, damn it, that done made daddy just as proud and carrying on. He beating his chest and look at little fella right here. Thinking he know, look at him, now he gonna open the book and they flipping the pages. Cause I'm a chip off the old block. Okay. So it's not like I'm new to this and this, that, and the other, and understand the whole dynamic. Plus, I'm the firstborn. So, of course, every man who has a son as his firstborn wishes and wants for his son to be a chip off the old block and want to make sure he's growing up in the right footsteps and all that bullshit. Correct? Got it. So I understand that. Okay. Now, mind you, what I just told y'all, this was 1977. So, of course, we don't have all this particular kind of technology. Computers were introduced at the time, and they were a little different than what they are now because my mother used to work in a bank and she was a key punch operator, which we now call data entry. So she was a key punch operator. So she was doing all that and et cetera, et cetera. So I get the whole idea, but in this particular culture, in this day and time, right, where everything is all about the alphabet children. Y'all keep talking about pedophiles. Y'all keep talking about, somebody indoctrinated. Y'all grooming these kids and all this sexy stuff don't need to be in front of these damn kids. And you wrong. And how dare you? And y'all want to come about me and my community about having kids and what you think is appropriate and what you think that we're doing with our kids. And here we have this man who purposely went to go get his son. Not that the little boy was already in the room and the ass was shaking. See, that'd have been a whole different ball game. You went purposely to go look for your son and say, son, come here. What the hell is you doing in here? We got all this booty and shit out here, and you in here looking for chips and Slim Jims. Are you gay? Really? 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 Another transparency moment. Yes, my daddy had that same, he asked me that same fucking question around that time. Okay.
He was a prophet.
No, he wasn't no damn prophet. I told you from the time I took my hips, honey. Ever since I took my first step, honey, my hips popped like my mama's. So, in my wanted to appreciate my daddy, I told you about the infamous fight, okay, when he threw me across the room. He thought that I was too soft. He always thought I was too damn soft. So at that particular time, because I went running to my mother's aid or whatever, he saw that as soft, and I wasn't being a man. And there's a few other instances where he thought I was not being man enough. The day I lost the fight in front of him, oh my God. I lost a fight in front of my dad because I didn't want to fight the boy back. I didn't want to fight. And I got my ass whooped that day. Yeah. Okay. So I was an embarrassment to him. Okay. Because he wanted me to be a chip off the old block, and I wasn't necessarily that kind of a chip. Okay. So here we are. So again, I get what the mindset is. But the question becomes, is that archaic? Is that I'm gonna say Neanderthalish. What am I trying to say? Is that what's the word I'm looking for?
Chauvinistic.
That's the one. Yeah, thank you. Is it chauvinistic to be in that particular mindset? Okay. Because like he said, all the answers out here. You trying to get chips in the snack, Slim Jims, and what? Wait a minute. Now I'm stretching this, y'all. I'm stretching this, but this is an adult thinking. Okay, you booty out here, and you come get a goddamn Slim Jim. A Slim Jim, the name itself, you know. So could it be in his adult rationale that he made a sexual innuendo out of the Slim Jim because it's a y'all know how it's shaped, you know, it's still a there, it's all that. Could it be in his adult reasoning that was the communication? Or was he just being an ass? Okay. See, I'm giving options here because I'm trying not to be completely one-sided with this because of how I know how I feel. I feel it was fucked up. Okay. Because hell, quiet as it kept, I knew as a child when my daddy asked me that, I knew it was something that he disapproved. That was something that he disapproved of. That was something that was not acceptable in his eyesight or whatever, or my uncle. So it was always a something or whatever. So that became the thing. So what is this? What is this? We Mr. Smith, once he get back on camera, I'm gonna bring him up in here because he popped in, but he got his camera and his mic off. He's muted everything.
All right. Well, if I may.
Go ahead.
everybody has a different way of showing their love, especially when it comes to the son and fathers.
Right.
You know, and I'm not okay, and everybody can relax. I'm not finna get all holy roly on you. I'm not gonna get, you know what I'm saying, I'm not gonna beat you with the Bible tonight. I'm not gonna do that. I said, but you know what I'm saying, I am. John 5 in the NIV, it gives you a great description of what a father and son relationship should be. So if everybody don't believe me, you can reference and go to John 5 and see what I'm saying. Get NIV, and you'll see where it's giving you what a description of a father-son relationship should be. And it's like it's going to, what that describes is telling you what the father's showing all that he does, like you saying, the chip off the old block, so thing. It's like that. It's like, so this is what I do, you know what I'm saying? I'm a wood chopper, and I want you to be a wood chopper and be just as great as I am at it. And for a long time, remember I told you earlier about when we talk about acceptability and community and people don't pay attention to certain things. They don't say certain things.
Right.
Okay, so here it is. You and I both know, thinking about the spirit of a woman and a mother's love, right?
Right.
He would not have done that in front of the child's mother.
Okay.
He would have not tried to subdue a child that young to some women of the night or strippers or whatever they were. From the video, they must have sent them from DFAX or something, because they really, anyway. He paid with food stamps. But what I'm saying is,
don't you start no calamity up in here. Don't you start no calamity up in here. You hear what I say?
I'm just saying. But again, you got to remember this. And I heard stories about, remember the sissy. You never like that. Don't be no sissy. Don't be no punk. You know what I'm saying? Don't be no this and this. That right there, it goes back into those conversations of masculinity. Sometimes masculinity can be overzealous in the way that it's presented from an older man to a younger child.
This is,
you know what I'm saying?
True. Very true.
And sometimes the adolescent is not vested or old enough to even be able to get it broken down to him the way it should be, where you want to start getting into the things of relationship, emotional communication, the do's and don'ts, you know what I'm saying, and the wins and wheres. They would have to be at to the age where you call it a man child. But a child as young as this one in the video, the discussion of what was going on with the females in the other room, it really should have never been mentioned to the child. You know what I'm saying? He should have came in there and said, "Hey, what you doing?" "Oh, I'm trying to get some snacks." "Oh, let me get them for you. What else you want?" Anything, boom, and send him on to his room.
Boom.
Okay, that's the way you handle that. But the number one way to handle it is not have Trifalina and Detrimetrius and all them running around there.
Did you say?
You know what I'm saying? You don't have why your child is there.
He said,
you know. So you.
Jesus, I'm not gonna. I'm okay.
I was just saying.
I am not going to sit down here.
See, I'm gonna just tell you. Look, a lot of people look at you real crazy when you do things like he did, the way he handled it. Like right now, if living in the right city, the right place, at the right time, the way that video was, I know living in certain areas like Gwinnett County, or living in like Champaign County in Illinois, those type of places get a hold of that video, they're coming to take that child.
Yeah,
they're real silly. They're gonna come take that child and start a case. They're gonna open a case based on that video.
Exactly.
Because what it is going to be about what is the child being exposed to in that household. Exactly. So therefore, the topic for the night, it does work. That is toxic parenting.
Okay.
Any masculinity your child should learn the masculinity part from the father. He should learn responsibilities. He should see you being a provider. Let's see that magic of nothing's there and now it's there, and the lights never going off, and you know what I'm saying, and everybody, you know what I'm saying, and going out to eat, and this is like when he should see those things happening, and not it being an issue. You know what I'm saying? You know, pick up on those and say something about that every now and then to your younger child to develop their mind. If you want that man stein in there, you know, that I call it the man stein. You want that in there, that's fine. You want that's fine. But you don't ask a child, because guess what? I'm gonna tell you what he just did. What are you mad about? I'm gonna tell you something that you're really mad about. How they say that the LGBT community plus is doggone pushing it and shoving it in the face of these adolescents and these youth today, right? And putting it down their throats. So is that not what he was doing by asking a young child that at the time that he's recording everything in his mind?
How about that? And that's one of my points. Exactly.
Right.
That's one of my points. Uh-huh.
And then the question is, the intelligent child would have said, well, Dad, I don't know exactly what it is. Are you gay? You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the precocious child, because those of us that grew up to be smart-mouthed and carried on, that's us.
That would have been me.
But here, look at that little. If we look at that again, if you look at the little boy's face, his face was one of, okay, I don't know exactly what that is, but I'm not that, because I know that's gonna make him happy. Usually, you know, kids do stuff because we know if it did just in the tone, are you gay? Just in how he asked that suggested that if I say yes, it's going to be a problem, because the feeling on it was different.
Because he put him in a position what I call tell me what I want to hear.
Exactly. So what he said, and then he stood there, he shook his head and said no, and then the dad gave him the high five. Oh, okay. It's almost like that sigh of relief, like, okay, yeah, okay, I'm good.
But I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna go ahead and break it down.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of things that are examples of toxic parenting.
Uh-huh.
And this was not exactly toxic parenting. This was ignorant parenting. There's a difference.
Okay, break it down.
Right. Toxicity was when you really expose a child to something, like let them hit the blunt at 5 and 6 years old and all that kind of
stuff. Or like Bootsy sitting up there taking his damn kids to the damn whole house. Yeah.
Yeah, that's toxicity, but this is ignorant parenting, because you really tough, you asked the child as if he was being reprimanded, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And you didn't have to do that. Like I said, you should have kept it G-rated and sent him on about his business.
Especially with him being a kid.
That's what I'm saying. Kept it G-rated.
Child, don't listen.
You just added 1,000 questions to that child's mind.
Exactly.
Because now he's finna go searching. So again, let me ask you this: did society throw gay in his face, or did you do it?
Boom. And that's where I'm fucking going, because I've always said this. Society always throwing the alphabet children's face. You throwing it down my throat. You pushing this down my throat. And no, not necessarily so. There are instances where I would say, okay, you have a point. And that's just being real.
Right.
But for the most part, and y'all heard me say this before, anytime there's a gay man in the movie, on the TV show, or whatever, it ain't us that sit up there saying, oh, there's a gay character in there. It's y'all straight folks that sit there saying, you see a goddamn fag up in there.
Now, I can't be, you know me, I'm transparent. I can't say I have been watching movies, relaxing, and have my cocktail, or you know, it's a Pepsi. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there drinking my Pepsi and having my popcorn. You know, Pepsi and popcorn. That's my movie thing. So I'm sitting there and I was watching an episode of some movie I have never seen, and two people getting up in the morning, and they get up out of bed, and both of them named James. So and I'm like, and I just seen them cuddling and everything before they came from up under the cover. So yes, I had some times where I'll be like, "What the heck?" You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I watching? You know what I'm saying? That's only because I don't know the movie. I just see a good title and I start a movie.
Right.
Okay. At the same time, I don't get upset about that because those are different indie movies where they just have a character that just happens to be part of the community. Okay. So, but at the end of the day, people like Tyler Petty, he is definitely one of those folks that shoves it down your throat. And to me, that's because he has a personal agenda. That's his closet. So, and that's just my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I'm entitled to that. You know,
Wait. We're not gonna play that. I'm entitled to my opinion. It's my opinion, bitch. It's my opinion. I'm entitled to mine. You hear me? I'm entitled to mine. You can't take my opinion away from me. Okay.
I just want people to understand that. I did earn.
Go ahead, finish.
No, I said I did earn the title. You know what I'm saying? When we first started this mission. And okay, you know what I'm saying, of this great show that we got, this platform that we got going on. Again, everybody clap, 14 years. 14 years anniversary. That's right. Take a bow.
Okay.
But I did take on the big guy ally thing because I'm not judgmental to the community. You know what I'm saying? The only time you hear me pretty much saying anything negative about the community or even slightly what you would consider bashing is if I'm doing my comedy. But again, when I tell my jokes, a lot of them are not derogatory. You know what I'm saying? I have a few of them, like we did that skit that time, and I set y'all up when y'all did it. That was a whole setup. But that's me doing what I do. I host comedian, you know what I'm saying? Comedian, that's got nothing to do with it. I crack a joke. I can drag you all the way through the mud and talk crazy and talk about anything that got to do with the community. But when I walk off stage, the person I am is the one that will give them a ride home, or I'm cool with them, or you know what I'm saying, or you know what I'm saying, be sitting there kicking it and kicking the bobo. My thing is this: that's a choice you made with your life. Who am I to be mad about it?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's interesting that we're here because I was on Nikki Gilbert's live the other day with her.
Nikki.
And her birthday is tomorrow, actually. And on the 10th, which happens to be her wedding anniversary as well, she's going to court finally with the whole thing with the P Valley stuff, right? And she asked me this question. She said, I want you to be very honest with me. She said, do you think that a hypersexual love scene was needed, or do you think it went over? Was it just doing it to be doing it?
Right.
And I knew what she was getting at because she talking about Little Murder and My Baby Honey. Okay. And she said she didn't watch it. I didn't see it. I said, well, I'm gonna tell you like this. I said it was definitely needed, but that particular scene there, just being real, that scene gives everybody else the fodder to say this is pushing down my throat. Because we went from he had the condom, he took the condom, opened the condom. We didn't see his penis, but we see him put it on. We saw penetration. We got facial expressions. We got a whole sex act, okay, of two men. I said the reason why it was needed because it gave the world a new expression of what gay love is. Because y'all so busy worried about the finger snap queen and the girl of us and the feminine side of us, to where y'all don't know that hell, street thugs are carrying on. We exist in that realm too. And so it gave us a new expression. The world wasn't ready for it because they just wasn't ready. I said, and they wasn't ready because they thought Little Murder was going to be the bottom. Ha! Okay.
Well, I just, personally, that particular scene, I know what you're speaking about because I was a fan of the P-Valley show whenever they decided to come back. But yeah.
But, well, just side note, once the writers goes over.
But to be honest with you, that scene did take me down through there mentally. I was like, to me, that was way too much for TV. But at the same time, me being a media production specialist, I had to understand the time of night that the show was playing.
I was just going to say that because, number one, it wasn't just TV. This is paid for cable.
Right. Okay. So you're right. So I'm saying I had to think about those entities that we learned about. We learned about when we got our degree. Those particular things right there kind of dropped the rules of society.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
Is Mr. Smith still in there?
Yeah, he hasn't come back in. He's still down. His camera's down and he got his mic muted. So I don't know. Tell him to go out and come back in because he may have been trying to get in.
Okay, but that's what I was saying. Those particular things.
And so with that, okay, let's take us as media moguls and filmmakers out of it, okay? Because we understand what that was just at the naked eye, okay? Just with the naked eye, us watching it. There was a whole big difference. Let me show you the difference between that, okay?
He said he on it.
Tell him to go out and come back. Oh, there he is. Okay, I got him. Okay. I'm going to bring him in. Craven, am I saying that right? Craven. He'll say it. Come on up in here, bro. What's up?
How's everybody tonight? How's everybody?
Moving and grooving and things of that nature. Welcome to Dish and Tea with Big Meat. Thank you for coming in. As our special correspondent. Okay, Black King, give it to me. Black Pop.
Got to.
Oh yeah, that hat dope. I like that hat.
Sound like y'all going deep up in here. Y'all talking some stuff.
Yeah, man. It was a video. It was because a video that been surfacing, and a guy was pretty much he walked up to his young son. He couldn't have been between but 5 and 6. Yes, but you had to see it. So that's why we're talking about toxic parenting, and I know you got a lot of wisdom when it comes to that. We got the grandkids and all that, and you had to see it, man. And I was like, it.
Come here. There's booty cheeks out here. You in here looking for chicks. And Slim Jim for chicks. You ain't gay, is you? Huh? Are you gay? You ain't gay, right? My man.
Right.
That's crazy.
Okay, right.
Okay. That blew me, bro.
There's a very important piece here that I heard it, but I didn't say it the first time around. After he asked him, is he gay the first time, what did the little boy say? I'm getting my Slim Jims.
Right.
Kid, I don't know what the hell you talking about, man. My focus is the damn Slim Jims. I'm trying to get the little snacks. You go do you. I done snuck off. I'm in the damn cupboard trying to get the snacks. That's what kids do.
But that video is surfacing and it's everywhere.
Yeah. But it's getting to the point where people just making society right now. I talk to a whole lot of people, counsel a whole lot of people, and a lot of things that comes up is everything is okay to be acceptable now. I mean, it's like, okay, well, they target and what they saying is acceptable. whether it's coming from where you come from, who you are. You know, it's almost to the point that racism ain't even at the top of the list no more. We grew up under what folks, it was bad when somebody called you the N-word. Now that right there don't even phase you to half of the stuff that's going on now, the stuff that's holding and keeping people down. But you got grown folks that's ignorant, that don't even have no reason to be trying to raise children doing stuff like that. That's crazy, man. You don't do stuff like that. You don't, and I hate to say stuff like that, but that's the truth. When you got people that's doing stuff and planting stuff in children themselves, that makes you think there's something wrong with them.
Here, you know, let's go here. Let's go here because it's an interesting choice of word. You say planting. Okay. Let's do this. Because one of my greatest arguments is that I get tired of the folks playing the kid card. What about the children? What about the children? The children are going to be all right because kids came here they're very resilient. Okay? Now, depending on how you water that grass, baby, and trim the garden is what's going to happen when it take root. Okay? At the same time of saying that, though, oftentimes, because we are in this society now where this is post-reality TV, and I can't wait to see what the next wave of the culture is going to be because we haven't really established that yet. We still are in reality TV concept to where as long as I got this camera and I could go viral, we done got to the point, like you said, anything goes because I'm trying to get likes and clicks and go viral, become famous. I want to be internet famous. And now what we have relaxed or removed, no, I'm gonna say removed. We have removed boundaries for the sake of saying, I need to get these likes. A lot of folks are becoming content creators, okay? All for the sake of saying, I'm doing this because I know this will get a rise out of folks. I know, just like we talking about it, it's going to get clicks. It's going to go viral because everybody's going to share it. So now, as it goes viral, and I done monetize my page, I'm going to get paid off of this. I'm going to get endorsements. I'm going to get. So this has become a way of branding for a lot of people. And it's warped sense. This is a business move for a lot of folks. Mm-hmm. The problem that we're having in society is that we have sold our souls or our minds and our time to that of idleness. Excuse me, because we have not given ourselves boundaries and parameters to say, you know what, I can do this, but I'm not, have some kind of precedent to say, I don't want to look like this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's go back to when we were kids. Even the pimps and hoes had boundaries. Mm-hmm. Okay? Pimps and hoes had boundaries. Pole dancers got boundaries.
But you got to remember something. Meech. Back when you go back in the days and dealing with the media, period, what they put out to the public, you got to remember there was rules and regulations where that. Think about this. There wasn't even liquor commercials.
Exactly. Yeah.
There wasn't right. They wouldn't allow.
That's right.
They wouldn't allow liquor commercials. You couldn't say the female dog word on the radio, but on TV.
Right.
You know, those were fines that were ridiculous fines. And then you had certain age limits that couldn't even be seen on television.
Right.
Exactly. If you put a film out and it's a child in there, and if it's not the topic is not about the child, it's just a child in there, you catching all kind of flack back then. Because we were protected, whether you white, black, Puerto Rican, whatever you were. The FCC protected the moral values of human beings. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now the morals have gone away. Like what really happened? Like, you know, and I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, like I told him, I said when we started out with this. I quoted. I said I told everybody we're gonna Bible thump, but you know, John, when you go to John 5, it tells you about the fatherhood thing. I really want everybody to hear what I'm saying and go to John 5 in the NIV and read about the relationship between the father and son. I really want y'all to do that. But at the same time, this world, we have no more values. We got all kind of things right here in front of us, tools that can teach us to make the right decisions. Things that man is old enough to know better. Because I'm gonna tell you something that you have not mentioned, Meech, about that video. He shook the little boy hand with a gang handshake at the end of it.
Yes.
So really, the toxicity is real.
But you were saying that, and I wrote down morals. That's what I just said, morals. We was always taught. I come up in the country. We came up in the country. It was always yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. And then it was always you don't do nothing that's disrespectful to your family. You don't do nothing that's disrespectful to your parents. It didn't work that easy because it was a price to pay for it. Exactly. But now, like you said, everybody's turning everything into that dollar. It's all about that dollar now, and you talking about the word. I love the word when it says, "What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul?" And that's what's happening. We're not taking in consideration of all the things that everybody want to be. Everybody want to be famous. Everybody want to be rich. And everybody want to be well known. Like he said earlier, he said, "Give me some followers and get me some likes." And that's not the moral. And a lot of times, and like he was saying, people want to take it and they're going to keep putting it out because they trying to get advertisement. They trying to get people to come in. But that's what everything is going to. And that's why I love how y'all was listening to y'all. I love how y'all was standing up talking about this. Even though it is out here, it ain't right. It ain't right. But some people go and they just open it up to a whole bunch of stuff that don't make sense, don't have no standards by what you're going and what you're standing against. We ex-military. I tell people this all the time. I say, you can't tell me about no morals or no standards. If you won't land there and guns were being shot at you, you didn't have to jump out of no plane. Don't tell me about no mess like that. Right. I understand when my life was just trying to get back home to my family, and it wasn't. Now talk to me about something like that. That other stuff. No, stand on something. If you can't stand on something, you ain't worth nothing.
You ain't worth nothing.
Okay, now, okay. Now, let me go here because let me stress this conversation just on that statement right there, because I'm sure that this fella is going to stand on that and give me the whole argument of you can't tell me how to raise my kids. Same thing Boosie did. When Boosie sat up there talking about how he took his son to the whole house. Because he trying to make sure that they turn out the right way because he wanted to make sure that a woman do that. And yet, you still open your lips and let the words come from your tongue and between your teeth to say that folks in my community ain't got no morals. And folks in my community ain't right. But you just took your son to go be servant that you paid for, mind you. So he get his first real piece.
So is that the real definition of a two-headed snake?
Okay, how about that? But
I'm just saying, my thing is this, I don't judge. You know what I'm saying? We all have, it's three men on this thing right here. And everybody has, they made their own choices in the directions they're going in. Okay. And your choice is your choice. I don't care. I don't have to answer for none of that. But at the end of the day, if he wanted to do that with his son, that's his business. But don't do it publicly. If that's what he want to do, because he still has to answer for that.
Right.
Now, if I knew him close enough and personally, have I done business with him? Yes. But if I knew him close enough and personally, I would call him and be like, dog, let that happen naturally. You know what I'm saying? Let him find out what it is. You know what I'm saying? Let him find out what it really is.
The same thing that, listen, being part of the alphabet children, everybody is afraid of that conversation. Okay? And I'm like, well, what the hell do you think that we say? What do you think we tell folks? Okay? That conversation is still age appropriate. There's certain ages that conversation don't even need to exist. Right. Because the intricacies of it is hell. I'm 53 and still trying to learn all of the intricacies of it because we're talking about human expression. At the same time, when we talk about people coming together, all kids know are friendships. They know I'm the He-Man Woman Haters Club, child. Okay, girls are ookie, sugar and spice, everything nice. Boys are this way. I know girls don't do this, honey. We finna go climb the tree. Okay, that's what kids are. Okay, until they get around sophistication. As I said, I was the precocious child. My father had porn all around the house. As straight of a man as he is, yes, he thought because I saw his magazines or whatever, I'm a chip off the old block. It was sex. It was naked bodies. The body is designed to react to all of that. Stimulus is that. Oh my God, what is this? It is the wonderment and the fascination. Now, as we get older and carrying on, my community gets the brunt of it because nobody knows what we do. All you think is what goes on in my bedroom. You're not invited there. Come the fuck out my damn bedroom. Okay? Get out my room. If I'm walking down the street, if I'm going to work, my bedroom is not on my goddamn back. Okay? If I didn't invite you there, you don't know what's going on. And quiet as it's kept, you'd be surprised. Okay? Now, because of that, we are in a society to where we take these liberties because mainstream is man and woman and this, that, and other. Without y'all, there is no me. So if mainstream is going through all of this and we have not taken the time to put the parameters there anymore, without it being cultural, because our white counterparts will sit down there, we're abstinence only with this, and they're there. Us as black folks, we come from that. I don't care what my kid doing, as long as he got a girl, as long as he with a girl, I'm fine. And we don't shape that unless we got super churchy and super religious. Because then you're going to burn in hell and you fornicating and we got all the church words that come out, okay? So, all the pretty church words, honey. Side note, I think folks just say those words because they're more than 3 syllables. But anyway, that's my personal opinion. Okay. But we get all that because now you're trying to scare folks into living a life that may not be true for them. Okay, as long as if you put fear, the fear of God to where you scaring folks into whatever, that ain't living either because you done boxed them into a prison. Because now how do I move? How do I learn? Because everything that you done told me, now if I'm scared to even breathe, because if I don't breathe holy, or if my breath ain't if it's not a sacrificial offering, or if I'm not consecrated, then God gonna get me. So we have all these different parameters that end up where we have a world that's like, what do I do? So then on top of all of that, on top of wanting to be famous, on top of this thing we call social media, where everything happens in an instant. When we were kids, it took a minute. We had papers, we had the Star, we had the National Enquirer, we had gossip columnists, they had the print magazines. That took a minute.
That's because media moved at a different speed. That's all.
Media, exactly. And now that we got social media, that where I click send, it goes out immediately and could go countrywide, internationally. Folks over in Spain and Argentina can get the same thing in 2.5 seconds or less. Yeah, we have.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this, and I mean, I don't, I don't sugarcoat nothing. If I ever had an issue with the community in my life, it would be more than likely it would be those that how can I say, they come into the community of straight people. They come into the churches and everything, and they start picking and probing and looking for victims. Those that have the victimized spirit, that this man straight with a wife, but you still trying to hit on him.
Listen, okay.
Those kind of people right there,
yeah,
I have a problem with.
So do I.
I have a major problem with that because my thing is this: if you walk up to me as a gay man and speak to me and say, "Hey, how you doing?" and everything, I'm fine. Boom, boom. Even if I recognize that you're gay, I'm like, "Boom, I'm good, brother." Boom, boom. And I'm keeping moving.
Right.
Don't. And when you see that's not me, because and matter of fact, prime example, and this happened to me. And I was picking up food for my family. I was went to get dinner, and I get out this car, and the car next to me pulls up, and the guy gets out. He's a guy about my size. He got on a those vests they do for construction. He got on a construction vest, and I get out. I think I had on a little short set or something, and so I was kind of casual, sporty. And I get out, and he got out too. And right when I was getting out, I heard somebody say, "Oh, you look good in that. That look good on you." That's what they said.
Mm-hmm.
And I turned around and looked, and I was like, and before I knew it, that's that masculine man. It was like, "Nigga, what you say?" And then he switched it up real quick. He said, "Oh, I'm not gay or nothing, dog." He said, "I just thought that was, saying you're a big dude, saying you look good." And like this. And I was like, when he did that, I was like, okay. I looked at him, I said, "Oh, okay, all right." You know what I'm saying? I went on and got my food. But when I was getting in the conversation, I'm saying to myself, he tried me.
Not the no homo. Did he give you?
Yeah, he tried me. And I said,
no homo.
I said, but he tried me. But when I turned around and looked at him like I was finna rip his face off.
Y'all, y'all straight children. Y'all took the shit out of me. What the hell is no homo?
I'm this me. I deal with everybody. I have to. I've been pastoring over 20-something years. I deal with people. You see me in the street, I'm talking to everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
I often tell people, I try not to never meet your condition. I always try to meet the person.
Oh, I like that. Aha.
I try never, because and the reason I say that is because and not talking about sexuality or anything to that situation in life. I've had some people when I met some people and I was in a condition, and it was just I was going through at the time, and they met the condition and never got a chance to meet me.
Meet the person,
and it caused something, and it caused something that that could have worked and could have been great. They overlooked me. They looked at me because they see me because I got on my Jordans, I got on my stuff, but you don't understand that I'm sitting here. I'm making people millions. I'm showing people how to change their life. You don't understand that because I'm stepping out looking like you. I just came back in. Y'all see I got on my shorts and stuff, my Jordans on, and I sit down. He called me, told me, so I came on in the house and sit down. But I tell people when we learn how to be, the Bible says this, if we use the scripture. Scripture says, in order to have friends, you must show yourself friendly. First of all, I know this right here. If I can't never get a chance to have a good conversation, which I never get a chance to either help you or never be a chance to be able to help me. So I'm not one of them people I turn off from nothing. I tell people I never try to make nobody be what I am, and you don't try to make me be what you are. I can explain to you who and why I'm in the place that I'm in. Explain to me who and why you in the place you in.
And then
let's be honest about the whole conversation too.
There we go.
Because I didn't get to this place because I did everything right. That was one of the things I have to say. I didn't get here because I did everything right. Now, if I go back to the word say all things was for my sake. There was some times I just made some jacked up mistakes. There's some times I did some stuff that was just totally crazy that should have probably put me behind bars. But because God's grace and mercy over my life, he allowed me to get through it. So I tell people this. I never put my finger on nobody. But I'm always at this point. But like you said, I'm a truth teller. I believe in the word of God. I believe what the word of God says. I done been to that point. It was through the word of God that I got up. They said I'd never walk no more. Through the word of God, I was blind. Not just a couple years ago, blind and couldn't see. My sight back had a stroke. You can't tell nothing wrong with me. So I mean, that's just where I come from. That's what I know. So you can't move me from what I know. But we can talk about everything that's going on and how I got here. So that's just how I look at things, you know, and I believe that. And that's one of the things I feel that's really killing what's going on in the community right now. We don't know how to sit down and have a dialogue without being offended.
Without being offended, and without always wanting everybody to believe what I say. You know, want me to be right, because a lot of times I don't think that we talk to learn. I think we talk to want to be right and want to have an amen corner. And as long as somebody rah with me, I'm good. But the second that my views are challenged, then it becomes a whole separate conversation. Drama gets involved, feelings get hurt, or whatever the case may be, and it becomes unnecessary. So yeah, I really now taking what you just said, I know what I know. Okay, with this, and we're still on toxic parenting, because again, we all know what hood mentality is. We all know what being raised in the ghetto and all of that. What is it when we come up against the guy in this video? Now he's some kind of something. His name is Blueface. That's the. I don't know where he's from. Whether I don't know. He's a rapper.
He's a rapper.
One of the reality. He's a rapper.
He's a rapper.
Okay, yeah, his name is Blueface. So
I saw the name on there. Yeah.
Coming up, and we get the folks that say, you know, my house is my house. You can't tell me how to raise my kids. This is all I know. You know, even going back to the scripture where it says that, you know, as the father does, so does the son. The father teaches the son, and this, that, and another. Where we have that, and we're coming from a community where the father was a dope dealer, you know, trying to turn the son on, you know, listen, let me show you how to get this quick money. You know what I'm saying? And not just a skill, this becomes, quote unquote, the family business. You know, we see it all the time. It's a stereotype for Italian families. It's a stereotype for the Jewish family, you know, where, you know, that the Italians is mafia, you know, everybody Godfather and in the business. Here with us, we either dope dealers, we pimps, or we hookers. You know, that there, it seems to be the stereotype for us. And being in the family business, when they say that I know what I know, and I'm just teaching them how I get it, because I got to hustle, I got to grind, you know, I got to get out here, I got to make this shit happen. Listen, can't nobody tell me what I know, because I'm about to turn this paper over. I got to get this paper. When we get there, and yet we are we're indoctrinating the children there. Where do we, as folks who are believers, those who sit down and look at life from a different prism, and like, okay, wait a minute, and don't want to necessarily put a judgment call on it, but we're like, okay, wait a minute, you could do this differently, because just because you here don't mean that this baby got to be looking over his back or her back all 24 hours of the day, because you know, that's
ministry. That's ministry.
There we go. Come on,
that's
give it
ministry. Now, with that right there, you have to be able to approach the masses and meet them where they're at, no matter what they do or what. And to be honest with you, I'm that dude. I know I'm who God says I am. You know, while everybody else is turning up their nose or trying to play blind eye to the people where the trouble come from, maybe the trouble comes from there because they know they're being ignored.
Oh, no, that's good.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's real good. That's good.
But if you meet them where they at and walk out there, they'll be susceptible to listen and hear and give you an ear. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to respect the fact that you didn't mind coming to the hood, or that you didn't mind coming talking to them, or you know something about what they doing and moving around, boom, boom, boom. It's like if you want to get real raunchy with it, imagine me being in a ministerial position and I walk in somewhere, okay? I walk into the hood and I see a guy sell a rock, right? And I walk up to him and I'll be like, I said, well, how many of them things you done sold today? You know, like that. And he'll be like, what's up, man? I'm like, I said, bro, I saw what you did. You know what I'm saying? I was like, how many you done sold today? I said, you probably stacking up about $1,000 a day, standing out here the whole day. I said, you know, and I had them conversations. They'd be like, oh yeah, I get a rack a day or whatever. I said, yeah, but you're working 24 hours. I said, so that means in a week's time, if you average it out, you're only making $3.44 an hour.
Right.
I said, let me show you how to make a rack every 20 minutes.
Okay.
And they'd be like, what? How about a rack every 20 minutes and you only work 2 or 3 days? And you don't have to look over your shoulder.
Right.
You got their attention then.
Got their attention, right. Exactly.
Because even though I'm using their lingo, I'm saying a rack.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This right this.
Right.
And then when I start to show them something, what I'm showing them rack don't exist. It's going to be 100K, 50K.
Right.
This is already here. And I'm going to change the narrative because now they understand they're interested when they see it in front of them.
Would you onto something there? Because see, now let's go here again.
Oh, congratulations to our show. Before you say that, because this thing about Blueface that we're talking about, this subject, we are one of the first 4 shows to get on it. TMZ got on it on the same date today.
Double
X Magazine got on it today.
Okay.
And Worldwide Hip Hop News got on it today. And Dish and T got on it today.
Okay.
Yeah. I was sitting and I was listening, and this is I'm loving this. This is something I didn't know what to expect because he didn't tell me. He just told me to come on, and I'm glad to be on. I really am, and I appreciate both of your outlook on things. But one of the things I said, and I think even go back to what we're talking about with the video, one of the things that happened, I think, in our society, in our communities, amongst our color or whatever, the thing that really kills us the most is our ability to be quiet.
Ooh.
And when I'm saying to that point, our ability to be quiet is a lot of times the Bible says my people perish from the lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge, honey, yes.
So what happens is when I say that, and I say that when I'm doing seminars and I'm talking and I'm teaching and doing different things, and I say that what kills us in our community is that silent voice that won't speak. We don't take people, we don't have people that are going out here and learning and getting the things that's necessary to come back and give out and offer back to show people something different than what they're doing. We'll judge it, but we ain't giving a solution to it. We'll come back and we'll come back and we'll tear it down. We'll come back and we'll describe all the things that's wrong with it. But I've been in that place. You tell me all the things wrong with it, but you can't help me figure my way out. Right. I don't care who you talk to. If they are in situations that's dangerous in their life, the truth of the matter is they don't really want to be there. It's either their mind can't see them out, or they can't see coming out and seeing it in a better way. And so we have to make sure that we begin to move to that place. And as we were talking about this, the guy here, that's something that we need to talk more about in our community amongst our people, because this is one of the things that we got to learn. And he said this, and it keeps sticking in my head. He said 2.5 seconds. The whole world got it.
The whole world got it.
2.5 seconds. And you know why the whole world got it? Because people allowing people to take advantage of it. Because social media is okay. That's what social media want. So this is more of our device than anything else.
Yep.
I don't mean no harm. That hurt me to see this man sitting here talking to this child like that. Really, grew on, man. That right there, I love the Lord, but that right there bothered me. Yeah. Because we look at it, stuff like that. But then what really gets me, and I'm thinking about all of that, I got grandchildren. All my children grown, but I got grandchildren. I got nieces and nephews that's going out, that's in school. We don't know where this blue guy is out there in the community amongst these people. Our kids and whoever that's connected to us, we can't protect them from everything, because the world is making it okay. So it's okay for somebody like him to come along and be that may be doing this at home. You never know what they're doing to your kids over here. but we laugh at it and think it's okay because it's on social media. Step back for a minute and just picture that was your child sitting there, and this same spirit that just been doing this with his child come do it to your child. Now we mad, want to do something about it.
And I
did. Wait a minute. Let me add this piece to it. We mad, but then we also got snitches get stitches, honey. So okay, so we got that element in along with all of this, you know, to where now we become a cesspool of anger, and it reflects in everything that we do in our culture. We blow up at everything, which is why reality TV is what it is. You know, I get paid to act. We have, that's better. We have become a society where negative behavior becomes rewarded.
Yep.
I can sit down here and flip over tables. I could tear up somebody's car, tear up everybody's property and restaurants and carry it on, and I'm going to get a paycheck for it. I'm going to sit down there. You're going to invite me to the BET Awards so I can sit down there and do that and this, that, and the other. Because I'm a global sensation, you know, I'm hot right now.
Bro, there's a gentleman right now. I don't know if you caught it because it came on around these same social media trends. He just started. It's a dark-skinned fella. His grandmother got to be about 80 years old. I think I sent it to you. He's playing these pranks on her, and she looks like she's entirely too old to be playing with like that. And I said, and some spirit came over me when I first looked at it, and I said, hey, he gonna do that and have to rush to the hospital.
I know.
Because she's too old to play with like that.
Right.
You know, you're in the car with her, but you got the video camera going, and you telling her that you loaned the car out last night to your cousin. It was in a high-speed chase, and I got to watch for the police, and he left his dope in here, and the police behind us.
Right.
And she 80-some years old.
Right. Yeah. And the thing of he has a series of those. They do this all the time. Every time he's with the one prank that he pulled on her with somebody in the back seat.
Yeah.
Okay, in the back seat that she thought he was dead. Child, yeah, it's comical. It's comical because her high tone and how she gets carried on. But at the same time, it's like, why do you put her through that? Again, we're talking about understanding boundaries. The word we haven't used yet, but we've been skirting around, but we need to put that word out there, is respect.
Respect went out the window, man. Respect has gone out.
Now, one of the things I will say is this. I don't give a damn all the words that we have called ourselves claiming, reclaiming, changing the definition, expanding the definition because we want to fit our narrative. Respect doesn't change.
Let me tell you something.
Does not change.
All of us on here are in the same league when it comes to what we learned as what it was to be in your place as a child.
Right.
When we were growing up. Okay.
Right.
I'm raising two beautiful stepdaughters. Well, they're grown now. But even at the grown level, some of the ways that they think is okay, it turns my stomach. Because I got one, when my wife and I go where she's at, go over to the house over there, or even when she called on the phone. And when she was living here still, before she ever turned 21, she still was going, hey, girl, to my wife. And that's your mother.
Right.
And people to understand why that was irritating me. That sounds so disrespectful. Hey, girl, I'm going, and she was letting it pass. I'm looking at her. I'm like, yo, you need to check that.
Right. I am not. Listen, we come from.
I'm not your equal.
I am nowhere near your equal. I wish I could find that clip. Wait a minute. When Dr. Maya actually went off on the little girl, she said, no, first off, honey, I am Mrs. Andrews, honey. You have not earned or garnered the respect or what word did you use? No, you have not earned that to call me by my first name. Okay? That's the thing.
They comfortable. They comfortable.
But a lot of that becomes, a lot of that comes from us thinking that, hell, we got folks at our age bracket that don't want to be grandparents.
Oh, the grandma,
the grandmas, and
yeah.
and what do we call the Big Daddy?
Yeah, Big Daddy, the G-Paws.
G-Paws, right? Okay, okay, G-Paws because they OGs and this, that, and other. We, now understanding culture, I get it. We trying to be cute, we hip, and this, that, and the other, and we are now at the age where our grandparents was at this age. We thought they were old as hell. Okay,
Absolutely.
now we're realizing, honey, that 50 was nowhere near old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but at the same time, let me go here. And this is nothing new. This ain't new because, of course, our grandparents and great grandparents, they had kids when they were young too. But what happened was, when they started having kids and then their kids started having kids, they stopped, number one. Number two, it was all about the role thing because it was the roles were very laid out back in the day. We have gotten our gender roles now that we all up in hoot.
Say from the petticoat to the poodle skirt to the mini skirt.
Okay. All of we got all of the gender things and carrying on, which I teach this a lot, but now that we're experiencing it, I don't know if I think I was before my time, and now that it's here, it's like, okay, I wasn't necessarily ready for all of this. And I've always said all of that is on the spectrum. And we got one, straight is on one polar, gay is on the other polar, bi is in the middle. Then we got all these other different things like a number line, but it's so individualized to where if you erase it or smudge it, it crosses over into something else. I used to teach that like 20 years ago. But now that we are here, I don't even, it frustrates me because we're there. But back in our grandparents' day and our great-grandparents, the roles were very specific. Okay? Not fair, which is why we got a lot of jambalaya going on. It wasn't fair, but they were very specific. The mother was here, the grandmother was here, the grandfather was that, the dad was that. And they were very specific. Okay? Well, now our mothers became the start of, I'm too sophisticated to be a grandmama. Okay, because she was the superwoman. I could bring home the bacon fried up in the pan, honey. WOMAN, honey. I'm a woman. Got it. Lovely. We got Wonder Woman. We got Batwoman. We got Bionic Woman. We got Charlie's Angels. Love it. We got Cleopatra Jones and Sheba Baby. I'm there. Baby, I'm there. Right?
Boy, you get on my doggone nerve. That's what you do.
I'm there. Okay. At the same time, women were still women and this, that, and the other. Now we done got to, I'm too sophisticated to be a grandma. Now, I'm not older. Don't ma'am me. I ain't nobody ma'am. There. You understand? Man was an age of respect. Now, granted, it's slave talking and carrying on, but we still were able to use it as a sense of respect, which is why we always address. You don't call Miss Johnson by her first name, but she was always, and if you only knew her first name, it was Miss Marlena or hey, Miss Mary. It was always to show that I respect you as a human being. Okay, we give you the title. Okay. Now, the titles, everybody want a title, but they don't want the responsibility of it. Ooh, that's the word. They won't want the responsibility. And we know that from the job. Look at how you are on your job, child. Everybody wants to be the executive, the supervisor, the this, that, and the other, but don't want the responsibility that comes with it. Same here with being a parent. You want to be a mama, or better yet, let me not do that. Let me not do that with mamas because I'm gonna get on them in a minute. Let's go to our baby daddies. You want to be a daddy or a man so bad to where you fathering all these damn kids. but yet you only daddy by title. You're not daddy by responsibility.
Well, it's been worse though, because it was where you was at, what you saying, but now in the last 5 years, they only daddy in the bed for the moment of making that bed, baby.
And I would not. Okay, now you went there because I was going to go there later, but okay.
But y'all know what though? You think about how time had been. It used to be a family had 7, 8 children.
Right.
Mom and daddy both were there.
Right.
He stuck it out. Look, they couldn't stand each other. But mom and daddy stayed there. 7, 8 children. I mean, you see people, I got 15 brothers, 15. Yeah. Now, as time has done changed, and back then things was really tight. And they didn't have a lot. Right. But they made do with what they got. Now everything is plentiful now. And go back to something that you said earlier. You know, it used to be you could see the little magazines and everything else. And that's what sparked your mind. But now again, here we go again. You got somebody, and can I be honest for a minute?
I want you to.
We as people, we got this mindset. You can meet somebody, you can be married to them. I've been married now 24 years. Me and my wife been married. Okay. But this is how things can work, and this is something me talking to people about. You nowadays, you see, you got who you with, your mate or whoever you with, right? And it used to be, it wasn't so much stuff or so much things that draws your attention. But now you got so much stuff that's surfacing and that's available that now we're starting to look at what we have and start comparing it.
That, right.
Everything else.
Right.
And now you devalue what you have.
Exactly.
Because now you looking at what you have, wanting a piece of this, and looking at what you have, wanting a piece of that, trying to put it all together. And so now we find people don't grow together no more. They grow apart. Ooh. And that's what happens. So now we're at this place where we got a bunch of people that are just existing and not living together. They're just existing. They're not happy. You got some folks that's frustrated. They just tired. They going through. But it's because, and a lot of it comes because, and we're going back to some of what y'all said, it goes back to people, one, young, having raising a family, never got a chance to experience life. Now you done got this responsibility, and now you feel like life owes you the ability to go out and see what life is all about. Because you missed it, because you took it upon yourself. Because nobody didn't do it. Nobody make you do it. You took it upon yourself to grow, to build this family, or to produce these children. And now you feel like the children, or people feel, husbands and mothers and fathers, not just husbands, mothers and fathers, they feel like that the child done help them back for something, but it won't that child's fault.
Listen, we done watch Precious, honey. We done watch Precious. We done watch The Color Purple. Okay. We don't even watch Good Times. Okay. And carrying on. When it comes down to seeing what it is. And when I say good times, y'all know I'm going to Penny, honey. When Mama wanted to burn Penny and carry on when she left her with Walona, and just up there and said, "What about me? What about me?" She done came up here and followed and ran out on me and carried on. Just let me in with this baby. What about me? I deserve some fun too. Okay, we in that. Fathers, now come on, because we don't watch Claudine, honey. We saw Claudine. James Earl Jones got highly upset. I work and they take out with this and they take out with that. How the hell am I supposed to take care of myself when every time I turn around it's a tat, it's a this, and I got child support here, and I got okay. I'm theatrical. But
I was gonna say take a bow.
But thank you. No, but I like to use movie references and stuff because a lot of us we use entertainment, and now that's not there because all of this is pushing back a wide parenting that got toxic because we use entertainment to raise our kids, and we are allowing entertainment to not only entertain but to educate, and a lot of what is being produced is not necessarily healthy.
That's
Okay,
true.
it's not healthy because we want to learn and carry it on, but what are the messages that are coming? Which is why we're talking about being filmmakers. We understand time slots and carrying on, and understand the dynamics, but we also understand when we're pushing an edge. You know when you know as writers and carrying on, we know what's salacious and what's not. We know when we taking it to the edge.
Well, I mean, you remember? Okay, you went. He went. You know what? Matter of fact, you went to AIU like I did. Okay, and when it was time before it was hands-on stuff, we were writing papers. Remember, some classes we were writing papers, and we were writing scripts and treatments and formats. So, and I remember writing a paper because, like you said, like when you're taking it to the edge.
Yeah.
I wrote a paper called "The Pros and Cons of Homosexuality in the Community Today."
How about it? Okay.
I shook the class up because the worst thing you could ever do is tell me pick my own subject.
Right.
I'm gonna go where I'm gonna make you cringe.
Right.
I want to talk about what you don't want to talk about.
What you don't want, and that's us as creative. See, that's us as creative saying, okay, no, because number one, we'll sit up there and say, this is what's missing from the world, right? Ain't nobody talking about this. Ain't nobody. But then what we do, but those of us who are conscious about it, we shape it to number one is fair, number two is palatable, because we don't want the message lost. But now in this day and age of I'm trying to get likes and clicks and this and this and this, it's like I don't care what it sounds like. I want to sit down here and give you the shock value, the whole Howard Sterns of the world. I'm just gonna say it because I know it's gonna piss you off. I know it's gonna get a reaction, and I'll deal with the consequences on the back end. Hello, Wendy Williams. I'll deal with the messiness. I'll be messy as hell, but I know it's gonna get us, and the world is gonna love me, which we have shown because we still pay them. They get lovely old chicks. They living well. Why? Because of messiness and salaciousness and just being out there like that. So now we as consumers, as parents, we have allowed this, especially for those who have to work. If you sit there working 2 or 3 jobs to support your family, all they got is entertainment and television and carrying on. You're not there to monitor that. And we talking about the time where there was no parental guides on the television where you could block out certain channels or whatever. We're talking about us. Okay. So
you want to hear something? You want to hear something funny?
What's that?
What I just spoke about. I just thought about it that I was getting rid of all this stuff and putting stuff together from school. From
you found the paper.
You know that paper's right here. Look at it.
You found the paper.
You see the date on it?
I can't see the date.
It's Pros and Cons of Homosexuality in Atlanta. February 23rd, 2016.
Wow.
Wow. And I wrote a paper right behind it called Painful Path of Love, where I quoted what life was about and versus society being in your business when you're trying to build a natural relationship. So, okay. I wasn't writing about Ray on the block.
How about that? Greg says, Blueface was dead ass wrong. What if the boy grows up and realizes he is gay? Imagine the harm that's going to do to him, let alone have it done in front of the world. Then he continues. Imagine if he grows up to be hetero, bigot, and terrorizes gay folks just like his dad probably did. Now those are things to consider.
Okay, so let's take psychology. Y'all gonna love this. This is my favorite subject.
Give it to me.
Let's take psychology. Now, child psychology, the conversation between father and son. Things that people have like key words and key points,
right?
Different subjects in life. You said, all these booty cheeks out here. Are you gay? Because remember, kids only pick up pieces of the puzzle and they put it together themselves later.
That's it.
You remember, that's like dogs only see in black and white. You got to remember, children, they're tape recorders, but they don't record the entire statement. So there's booty cheeks out here. Are you gay? Slim Jim. This is stuff that he's going to put all these things together. All this going to put together, and then it's going to be on the playground with a bunch of kids that are gay bashing or saying something about gay people or whatever.
Right.
By the time they get to that, you got to remember, you could have triggered a psychological curiosity in your child that never was there.
Listen. This is something. Now, I always preface this by saying this is controversial, what I'm about to say, but it's factual. The body and the mind is designed to be stimulated. It is designed that way. So anytime you go and prematurely expose it to adult touch and adult stimulation, adult conversation, you open up the body to now it's a need and a want simultaneously. Okay. The need is the body craves that, but there's a time release mechanism on the body. The body don't know what it is until they experience it. Once it experiences it, then it becomes a want. Okay. And in certain aspects, it's a need because I know for men, we have to have that release because that's our period.
That's what you're saying.
That's what regulates the hormones.
If you're a gay man of some series of pedophilia, or you just like young boys or young men, when I say young adults, and you introducing them to that right there, it's like when the same thing with the young. Like what I went through, my mom beat one of her friends to death for trying to give me sex.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I was only 12.
Right.
You feel me? So
right.
But here it is. That's the Pandora box that you opening up in my mind as an adolescent. So you got a gay male doing it to another young boy. Okay, not only is that pedophilia, is that a Patrick's box? We're gonna call it Patrick's box.
You so damn.
You understand what I'm saying?
I'm gonna slap you with a wet lasagna dude, a Patrick's box. I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna
tell you what,
and I'm gonna hit you hard.
Hey, hold a noodle and send me a fish sandwich. Look, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, I would not. No.
Boy, you forgot I do comedy. I'm too quick for you. You can't get me. Okay.
That was good. That was good.
Wow. But, you know what though, this is something that's real, that you pay attention even in communities, period. People go into communities and start trends. And a lot of times life becomes a trend. Life become a trend, you know, because if you go in according to what you wear, somebody can go in and they change the whole dynamics of what people wear. Right. You know, they come in and they see it all and everybody jump on it. Just like out here now buying these Jordans that cost hundreds of dollars.
Right.
Because they bought it because Michael Jordan started a trend in the different communities and everybody want to be like Mike. Right. And that's what happens now also in the midst of how things is in life. I majored in psychology too, y'all. So one of the things that we talked about, and I wrote a paper and I talked about this thing one time called about shift, what shift really means. You go into Webster. Webster says shift means to take responsibility for your own positioning. And a lot of times people don't know how because they don't know who they are.
Exactly.
Exposure is one of the biggest things that hurts people because it hurts and it helps. Because some people don't understand how to handle and deal with exposure.
True that.
Whether it's good or bad. Because it's like you said a while ago, the taste. You don't know if you like a certain food until you put it in your mouth first and see how it feels in your mouth.
It's true.
You got to eat some. You got to taste it. You got to get the texture of it in your mouth, see how it tastes, and see if your taste buds adjust to that thing, and it does something to you. Because there's a lot of food right now, travel a lot all over the world. And I will walk past places and I see stuff and they be like, I don't want that because it's just the way it looked. But then I tried it. And now I was like, Dad, every time I go, I know that's what I want. If I'm in another country, I see something. But see, and that's what's happening now. We're painting a picture. It's a picture being painted that is drawing everybody's attention. Subjects are being posted that are drawing conversation.
Yes.
What happening now? That subconscious that's been dead to everything. Now the curiosity to that subconscious want to understand what it is that's got your subconscious constantly being reminded or pulled to certain type subjects.
Exactly.
And that's what happens to a lot of people that we deal with. And so, you know, I'm one of these people here. I try to surround myself with somebody that's trying to help me elevate.
Exactly.
I'm trying to find somebody that's out there that's going to tell me, look, step out on the water like Peter. Come on, you can do it.
All right.
So I'm looking for somebody that can add to my life. Either they're going to add to my life, or I'm looking for somebody that God has placed me in that place to add to. I often say this: you don't know who a person is keeping alive. Don't kill folks, because you don't know who is watching a person, and because they're watching them, whether they right or wrong, they see something about them that keep them alive. I had people that have came in my service that was ready to commit suicide. They was going to come in my service and sit on my front row and looked at me. And I tell people I flow very heavy in the prophetic, so I pick up and I know things, I see things. But I began to see what was going on. And these people came there with the mindset, if I don't hear something to change my mind, I'm leaving here tonight and I'm going to kill myself. I already got everything laid out waiting on me. So that's the importance of, you know, we got to learn how to put things in the atmosphere that's going to charge and challenge people's mindset. That's one of the things. Conversations like we're having tonight. Conversations, you know, discussions, all of this type of stuff is stuff that's really needed. I don't know about y'all. Sometimes I get to the point I just need somebody just to sit there and say, man, you tripping. Let me tell you about this right here.
Right. And in that regard, because this is something that I tell folks all the time, as a spiritual counselor and carrying on, oftentimes I tell folks, when you need that ear, because, you know, coming from the church and carrying on, everybody want to go to the pastor and things, and there are moments to where those church words ain't gonna work right now. I need to get this up off of me the way I feel it in this moment, so that I just need you to hear me. I don't need you to judge what I'm saying. Just hear me. And just like you said, I need that ear for somebody to say, okay, you tripping, you ain't, you know, yank my coattail and be like, okay, wait a minute, you know, you out of line. All of that in honesty, in truth, and in love.
But see, that's why I say, Mitch, that when I go and approach people that are going through things like that, I come at them on their level, at their level, and take something that I've been through that's similar to what they got going on. And I tell them, I'm gonna have this conversation with you. I'm gonna have you give me some advice on what you accept in life. And I'm gonna give you some advice based on what you accept, so you'll be comfortable with what I'm saying to you. And when we're done with this and we come to a means, whether we agree or disagree or agree to disagree, then I will talk to you about my Lord and Savior, and I will show you in the Bible everything that we spoke about. I'm not going to come at you, you know what I'm saying, and beat you down with the Bible, because a lot of times that's deterrent. You're not hearing it.
Yeah, because a lot of folks are not in that space.
You're not hearing me. I need to pull you back in my boat, because you're God's child and you're my brother and sister. Once I pull you back in that boat, then I can tell you why I pulled you back in that boat.
Right. Now, you know, let's do this. Let's do this before we close this segment out. We talked about all of the problems. And one of the things that you said earlier, Brother Smith, was that we know how to talk about the problem, but we never talk about a solution. In this particular day and age about toxic parenting and looking at how everybody parents differently. We don't have, kids don't come with an instruction manual. And I think it's time that we start to write one. I think it's time that Black folks come together and be like, culturally speaking, we all got the unspoken rules that we as Black folks know. When are we gonna put that in the book and say, these are the rules, okay? And stop thinking that we just gonna get it through osmosis, and stop thinking that we don't have the storytellers and the sages anymore that sit down there and tell our story and our history, what we've been through, why we do this, why our family name is important. Because like you said earlier, when we were kids, it was all about you don't bring shame to that Taylor name. Okay, go out there and when I moved to New York, my mother prayed over me, and she put oil on my head. She said, "I only want to hear good things about you, baby." Wow, I didn't mean for that to hit me like that. I lost my mind.
Call that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what though, and as you saying that, and I got you. As you saying that right there, this is one of the things that we have to get to the point of understanding it's okay. What hurts a lot of us is this right here. We fail to understand it's okay, especially in our culture. It's okay to have a pastor and have a therapist too.
Say it louder.
It's okay. Because see a lot of times we done held so much of. I looked at a comment about assault. I been it says I can't see. I ain't got my glasses on.
Which one? I got it.
Y'all have to read it for me. I ain't got my glasses on.
Little boys from a very young age in general, and many men experience assault from women to men, and it's hardly ever talked about, sadly.
So now right there, I'm gonna show you something a lot. Now, even down to that little child that we just got with that blue, whatever was that crazy rascal. So even with him, now we as a community of where we come from, the Black community. We was always growing up. Now I'm telling you, some of our older folks, they had some mess with them too now, because Uncle Cousin was aunt and whatever too. So we have to make sure we fix it to the point that it was always something that we never, we didn't believe in going to no counsel. We didn't believe in talking to nobody about it. Listen, you just hushing. And to be honest with you, we came through an age where so many people held some stuff inside for so long until it started also rubbing off on the people, our younger people, and it was more acceptable. So it was taught to look away. It was taught to turn your eyes. It was taught to do all that stuff because it was, that's just how we do. We ain't gonna tell that it was cousin or whoever that did this to you or did it, and then back then it was making it as if the children, it was the children's fault or whatever, you ain't gonna do that, or the man of God, or he did this to you, or whoever, because they have came from so many ways. But we have to understand that it's okay for us to go and sit down and talk to somebody and share with somebody and do all of that. We have to understand that. Even though that the church, some folks, they done been hurt in the church and they won't go talk to the church, but go back because some of the stuff is your fault. I heard you say something as you was talking just then. You said your mother did something. She said she laid hands on you, put oil on you, lay her hands on you, and said she wanted to hear all good things. I wish that was just the cream of the crop when it come to my kids. But I know good and well I'm not going to just hear good things from my kids. I know, but you know what? But it becomes that pressure. It's the expectation. But that's something that would also cause somebody, dag, if I messed up, I know not, man. Look, that's what happened in church right now. The church is supposed to be a place that we growing and we mature. And the Bible says that it brings us to the place of perfection. He said he's perfecting that's concerning us. So that means that while we here, we're going to find ourselves in some times when things ain't going to be right. But now the world sit here and want to kill us because we done made a mistake or we done did something too. No, I'm just like you, but I'm trying my best. So you can make a mistake and I can't, but I'm living for perfection. But in saying that, we have to understand that it's okay to release this stuff. And I believe in prayer. I believe in fasting. I get counseling, spiritual counseling, and I still talk to somebody because I deal with some stuff. I deal with stuff every day. I got this thing called PTSD. It may not look like it, but it's some stuff. I saved some stuff. I was in some stuff. Right. And the pastor may not understand, but there's groups and people that I've talked to that experience what I did. And they're like, yeah, man, I know. You know what got me through this, But we have to understand it's okay. And we got to also make it available that people can talk to us. Like I said, when I came on, if I could take time to get a chance to understand you and to hear you, I've seen people's life change. I seen this man, he said he was gay all the years, dressed like a woman. He did everything in the world. Messed around, got full-blown AIDS. The Lord saved him. Now, when the doctors everywhere, they rode up on him he got full-blown AIDS. Turned around, the Lord healed him. This man is out preaching the gospel now, causing people to be saved. People still yet bring up the old stuff, but he don't care. God done changed that man's life around. But it was one man that stopped and listened to him, brought him into his church and started praying with him, started fasting with him, started getting him, and he started changing and things. So this man, y'all hear me, got healed from AIDS. That's how I know God is real. This man he went back. The doctors can't even understand. They don't even know what happened to his. How did your blood don't even look the same? But it was one man that took him in and listened to him and realized and helped him get out of that he was in. And he turned his life around. Now today, over 10, 15 years later, he's out preaching the gospel. Every now and then you see people, they want to remind people of who he was. But I always tell them, I don't care who he was. Look what this man doing right now. Because I was. I promise you.
And what do I tell you all the time? If you wasn't a was, you can't talk to me.
Can't talk. It's hard.
Everybody got a past.
Oh,
yes, sir.
Okay. Everybody has one. Okay. Everybody has one. And the sad thing is, see, if I just take it basic, honey, you're no longer that 5-year-old child anymore, honey. So that was years ago. That's your past.
But Joe, what you were talking about the switching up of how the parenting is going, this cycle has to pass through because this cycle has toxified. I'm gonna say toxified. Yeah. The child and parent relationship by turning it into a friendship. They're so busy trying to be their children's friends. Respect is out the door.
How about this? Let's add this into the equation too. Because what about the role reversal? Now, we talked about that as far as not understanding the roles. But what happens when you have the child is the parent and the parent is the child?
Normally, that's when somebody has a substance abuse situation, and the child is really taking care of the house and sobering them back up. Or if it's some type of chronic illness and they have to take care of their parent while they're still doing their thing. But outside of that, I don't see it. I don't see it being that way. To me, I know before this wave of parenting, I remember how strong the grandmothers and the great grandmothers were
because they were in the house or close by.
Right. I remember the strength of them, and to me, there's no reason you should be walking around here allowing your child to high five you and borrow your heels And you know what I'm saying, or you walk in a house and they sit in the back barbecuing, and you see a young man back there. He not even 18 yet, and him and his friends are sitting there, and you and your friends sitting there, and they passing a whole marijuana thing around. They smoking the marijuana together. And when I'm gonna tell you something. I say this was today, Lord. God, I try to overlook when something happens in front of my face and I know it's wrong. I just like, fix it, Jesus. You know what I'm saying? But here it is. I was speaking to somebody. I was speaking to somebody on the phone on FaceTime, right? They were picking up their child. Now, I know the girl she graduated high school. She's probably 17, 18. She came out pretty good, right? But she gets right in the car. And I kept saying, you're talking to somebody, you're like, what is that smoke? Because I know they drive an old car, so I really wasn't trying to be funny. I didn't want to say nothing. But they were, I guess they were smoking some marijuana or whatever. And when they daughter, I said, what you doing? They was like, I'm picking up my daughter. Oh, okay, that's what's up. I said, I didn't want nothing. I said, I accidentally called you earlier. That's why you probably, called me back. That's my bad phone. The daughter gets in, and all of a sudden, the thing becomes visible, and you hear the girl just plain as day. Oh, mama, you smoking? Let me hit that. Oh, here you go. I'm like, what happened?
Right. Listen, I'm okay. I'm from the days of we don't party with our kids.
Absolutely.
We don't party with our kids, and that's so strong for me. To where my mother has come to my house in the middle of me partying, and went behind my back because I don't drink in front of my mama. You know what I'm saying? And that was she came to my house, okay, and I put my drink behind my back. We turned the music down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to tell, no, this is my mother, honey. Hold up, or whatever. And mama was doing her thing or whatever, and she didn't stay long, but then she knew because
this is why I said this. I'm sorry. This is why I said it was. It just hit me. You all, I know we all of us, we got busy lives and everything. Right. And of course, this is the gentleman that's running for mayor here, Mr. Smith.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. He's running for mayor of College Park.
Mayor of College Park. Yeah, that's
good.
So here's the thing that just clicked in my mind. Remember we was talking about alcohol and commercials. So all this stuff comes around full circle because I saw a commercial one time. I'm watching this movie. They play the same commercials over and over again, depending on the advertising dollars they get. So when I first saw a commercial, I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, alcohol commercial. Okay. All right. So it come on again. Finally, I figured out the script of the commercial because now you see it a second time. Now you're looking at what's actually going on because this dude is having a good time on his way to where to where he's headed. So he was going to his mom's house. He stopped at the liquor store, got a Crown Royal, speaking to all the people in the neighborhood by the bodegas and all that. You know what I'm saying? You could tell it's a New York type thing. He picked up a bottle of Crown Royal and went to his mom's house. Hey, mom, and everything. And him and his mom poured a shot, and they took a toast together for the commercial. Now, that show you full circle what's going on with these generations. Like, this dude really went and got a bottle of liquor to go chill with his mom.
And to drink with her, not to give it for the house.
Right. No, to drink
as
with
a
her.
Gift, but you cracked it to have a cocktail with her. Baby, Only time we did that was for New Year's Eve, because my mother, and she only poured us just a little bit of champagne to say Happy New Year, and that was the only time. That was the only time, honey. And then
lucky you. Hey, lucky you, because mine was Welch's grape, sparkling.
Yeah. It started off that way when we were real little, as we got older. But then too, again, I helped her raise my siblings because I'm the firstborn. I helped her there. So as I got older, she knew I was out and doing. She knew I would do out. Okay.
Right.
So because of that, yeah, it was only for New Year's Eve. Only for New Year's.
I just thought about that as we were talking about that, because that one commercial has everything in it. Like, what type of parenting is that? You was expecting your son to come over, you're cooking, and he stops at the liquor store, and he comes in and he cracks open a fresh bottle of liquor, pour 2 shots, and y'all toast. Really?
Right.
What are you saying to the world? It's okay to be your kids' friends. It's not.
Not in that. Let's put some parameters on there. Not in that dynamic. And I want y'all to hear me, because a lot of folks are saying that, oh, my mom is my best friend and this, that, and the other. And I think a lot of times when we hear that, they're saying that I'm open. I could talk about to my mom about any and everything and carry it on. But oftentimes, I know my mother and I were like that. I could talk about mom about anything.
Mm-hmm.
All right. She raised us that way. But I can't have locker room talk with my mama.
I know that's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, try it if you want to.
I don't know if I told you, my mama was my one. I saw what she did to my daddy. And yeah, I became deathly afraid of her in 1975. Okay. All right. So I could talk about my mother about any and everything, but I can't talk to my mama like I would talk to my best friends or my circle or on my platform or whatever, because no. There was a standard.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm sure Apostle Smith is probably gonna have me speak about this one day once he hear me say this, because it's controversial when I say this, and a lot of women get upset when I say this. But you allowed the government to come in and single-handedly remove the men from the home, and you become single parents. And you took the crutch instead of fought for your men. And then by doing that, now you're trying to raise children. Now you're raising young women and grown men. A woman trying to raise a man. So now, instead of again having a second opportunity to fight for the black man to be in your home, instead of fighting against the black man and running him off because you're comfortable with the crutch, guess what? You took the crutch way out by saying, I'll be their friend since I can't control them as a parent.
That's good.
And I say this not because I'm bashing. I say this because it's the truth. And some people need to talk about these things and speak it into the atmosphere. Because I'm going to tell you, hey, if you mad, say you mad. Let's talk about it. I'm not upset. I'm not angry. But poor decision making, we all have done it. Somebody need to address it.
That's right.
Okay. You know what?
Right.
Listen.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, but
no. I'm trying to keep us to where the show is at 2 hours, because we just hit the 2 hour mark, and y'all know this we done hit something, and I see. I have to start doing series and start breaking these things down into series, so we can have parts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Man, y'all got too much in y'all to break down series. Y'all done put the world upside down in conversation.
You know what? But we're supposed to, because this here, and I want y'all to hear me well, because y'all know I love talking to y'all, not for y'all to necessarily agree with me, because for those who don't, I want to hear your perspective on this, because this is how we grow and how we learn. Just don't come crazy. Okay, don't come crazy now. But this is how we grow and how we learn, so that we can put the whole spin on the conversation. And it's not just, I need to scale the balance. I can't have it lopsided. We need to balance this out so that we can say, hey, I see where you're coming from. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I see where you are. I have a better understanding of why you feel that way. Because a lot of that comes from experiences. It comes from hurt. It comes from trauma, and et cetera, and how that has shaped our experiences as we move through life. And so this here can be that way. I wanted to get into another side of the conversation that Red had brought up earlier.
You know what? You're gonna have to do a part 2 of this.
I know.
Greg, I want you there because I'm sorry. No, sorry, not sorry. No, not acceptable. And I would never lay down and accept that as a black man. I'm not doing it. And you saying you would take the check too? Come on, man. Ain't nothing cute about the division of the black family. Ain't nothing cute about it.
Well, here's where this is. And wait a minute, let me reread that. That's not fair. The government attacked our community, split us up with drugs and all sorts of stuff. Black men weren't always holding up their end and still aren't in a lot of ways. Now, mind you,
can I ask you a question? Can a door hold itself up, or is there a hinge behind it?
Okay. Well, hold on.
Answer the question.
Wait a minute. Here's what this is, because I got to put something in here. Because where's this other statement? Because this one here, being of the current generation. See, this is a young one.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely say that we open the door to having actual conversations about things and discussing mental health, feeling free enough to express ourselves in general. Here's what and I wanted to go back to that comment because I hear where you was going, but this here is someone who is young and not necessarily understand that when welfare and stuff came into existence, that was its goal. Okay.
Right.
When affirmative action came into existence, its goal was to help white women particularly. It was to give us a hand up, but they also found out how to get rid of the black man because the black woman killed two dynamics at the same time. And so black men got X'd out the game.
Yep.
Okay. So when they started X'ing out the game, then it became either you working or if you got welfare assistance, the man couldn't be in the house. And that was only in our communities because white folks, the man could be there. As a matter of fact, if the husband was there, the recipient was the husband, not the wife.
Yep.
All the benefits came to the husband and not the wife. So a lot of that history, I don't know if Greg really understands that.
Well,
so
see what you just did. I bet you Greg did not know that. What you just said out your mouth, a lot of people don't know that.
Right. Now, his point here, this one here about trash and black men ain't it. We have little, we wouldn't have the little we have if it wasn't for black women. Here's what this is. It is nowadays that we got the trash and the black women. Because, and I'm going to tell you why. A lot of that comes as black women's fault because they have accepted the type of man that we have nowadays. Mm-hmm. They have accepted the pimp baller shot caller who don't do nothing but smoke weed all day and play video games.
Exactly.
That because they went back.
And I'm not attacking black women. I'm attacking their decision making.
It's the decision. They've accepted their old mentality from back when our mothers were young women that a piece of man is better than no man at all. And I always ask them, well, what piece do you have? Because if you got the asshole end of 100, then you got nothing but shit.
See?
That's good.
All right.
Okay. And if that is the thing, that there is where it is today. Black women have become, y'all hear me say this all the time, women have become the men that they look for and that they want. And that there, it became, first it was out of necessity because the man wasn't there trying to be in a single parent household. They became single parents. And so now their strength and their resilience and this, that, and the other, they become so that way to where they got to the point to where when they say, I don't need a man, well, that's because you done put all these damn restrictions on him. If the man can't get the job and then he end up resorting to the illegal hustle or whatever, because that's the only thing that was hiring or he can get his hands on to get some quick money to try to help the family, then all of a sudden now he got to run the risk of going to jail, this, that, and the other, because now you want a lifestyle. See, and see, all of that is what triggers it to us. So today's black woman, when you got the black man talking about her and this, that, and the other, she has herself to thank for that. Partly, not the whole thing, partly because.
Okay. All right.
Can I say something right here? And it's because I'm seeing the comment. And
yeah, you see that, right? Okay.
I'm not one to go through all of this. This is what I said and say, because I'm looking at this right here. It says black men need to take their rightful place. No, the world need to take their rightful place. That is more than just black men. I'm not going to put that there. And then I sit and say this right here. Okay, we say this. It comes out of people's mouth. But every day I'm trying to change a black person, black man, whoever life, every day. Every day I'm trying to educate them to the point that they don't have to do what they do. Yep. I try to help them change into the position that they're going into. So when we talk about it, it's to the point that people say this, but then I always say this right here too. Can I see your resume?
Right.
Can I see the points that you're making when it comes to this? Now, I'm hearing what you're saying. I'm in my community right now, and we're working. I'm not only just in my community, but those that are around me. I'm trying to eliminate everything right now that don't no black family got to go around and do a GoFundMe. I'm reaching out to all the young black men, showing them how to make sure that if something happened to them, that their family is covered, that there's a generational wealth left to their family. I'm trying to show them how that they can take on businesses and do different things in itself, showing them how to create their own corporation, showing them how to clean their credit up. So in the midst of that, I'm doing that. So we can't say, and we've been saying this whole show, that listen, we have to get to the point that we become the people that are positioning and coming in, and people taking responsibility. He said that big word a while ago, responsibility. We showing the community, showing them how to do it. A lot of what's done happen is if we didn't have a lot of black men in position. To be honest with you, a lot of black men didn't make it. They couldn't do it. Most of us black men, if you be honest, we worked in factories, we worked in everything else. So now we're at, you said you're 32. I think I seen you say you 32. Yeah. So you at the right age now that you should have been able to catch college and start doing some things. So now you're in the best position now yourself in the age that you should be able to reach, go forward and backwards. Right. So we have to be careful how we say we. No, that's just you stereotyping. That's just like judging somebody. No, we don't say what we say. What are you doing? That's just me. If I'm not doing nothing, I found this out. Best thing me do hush. Because if I'm not making it better, I'm really making it worse. So when we have to do it, and to be honest with you, it's a lot of black men right now that want to do stuff, but circumstances and situations didn't treat them fair. I come from a family that we was professional drug dealers.
All right, wait a minute. Press pause for a minute. Because this is the statement right here. I just wish we talked about what black men aren't doing and need to do instead of blaming black women. Okay, let me shut this down right here. One of the things that we have not done, and that there is, white folks have said this, and I'm saying the CDC. When the CDC came out and did a study and have proven that in this country, black men are better fathers, black men sit down with their children, they help them with the homework. Black men are the ones who are spending more time with their children than anybody else.
Say it.
That study goes on deaf ears, okay? Because, and I say it like that, and if white children watching, if you're mad, I'm sorry. No, I'm not. Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not
because
sorry.
The white children put that study out. They did that, and I'm sure they got pissed off about it, because the narrative that we have is this statement right here. We need to talk about what black men ain't doing. But the black men who ain't doing that we just said, instead of blaming black women, we can't do nothing but blame those black women, because those are the women who have crippled those men, because these are lazy, shiftless little suckers think that it's okay to be a pimp, baller, shot caller, because all I got to do is lay some pipe and she gonna still take me back. She gonna still sit up there and beat the hell out of the other bitch next door because I'm getting her too, and y'all sit there fighting over the same piece of community dick. Excuse me, Pastor. Okay, that's what this is, and that's the mentality that we have equated to hood. And we sit up there and say that that's us. We sit up there and say that that's cultural. No, the hell it ain't. That there is what we have developed to be some kind of culture. And so black women say this all, especially those who say, I'm a strong black woman. Bitch, you don't know about strength yet. You don't know about strength yet. Okay. You don't know strength. Okay, what you know is bullying. Okay. What you know is bullying. Just because you could sit down there and you could clap back and carry it on, and you could hush, you could holler, and I take care of this. I got my own. That ain't strength, bitch. That there is accomplishment. That ain't strength.
Hey, okay. I'm a strong, phenomenal, independent woman on Section 8 getting food stamps and Medicaid. Now, that was the most oxymoron statement I ever heard in my life.
You know, and honestly, we're not putting women down. I'm telling you, because we do. We got some very strong, because if you hear it, it talked about growing up under being under strong women, mothers, grandmothers. We didn't say that. We ain't killed them. But it says it came to a time that time have changed. That now mothers, and you got mothers and grandmothers graduating high school together pretty much. So I'm just saying. So you see, it's not that. It's that you got people that's being mothers that's coming that don't have that thing. They know how to be who they are. They don't know how to be a mother yet. So it's straining. And a lot of them, they don't have fathers there with them. And a lot of them got parents that if they don't have good parents or parents that's seasoned, then you're gonna see them fall in that crap. But everybody, it ain't every woman now. Hear me, it ain't every woman. He got a wife. I got a wife. I'm raising. I got two daughters. My oldest daughter, she's got a son. She got a son. My baby daughter, she's 21. She don't have a son. But I'm teaching them, listen, you got to take responsibility. It's your family, whether that man is there or not. Right. You got to take responsibility of your credit. You got to take responsibility of your future, what you want to do. Exactly. You got to, just like a man, you got to have different streams of income. Just like a man, you got to make sure your credit is straight. But then don't forget that you was raised by a man.
Right.
And this man took care of your mama. But but make sure you're not in a place that you're a liability, but you're an asset. And that's the thing that I teach. My kids and my nieces and those that's up under me and me, I teach them, learn to make yourself an asset. I tell the men, be an asset to a family. Don't come and be a liability to a woman. You don't, a woman, what? And just like they said, I tell the men that I have to deal with, why do a woman want you if the only thing you can do is lay down and make her happy? If you can't make her happy on your feet, the only time you make her happy on your back, then you ain't really making her happy. Ooh. Learn how to make her happy on your feet. Learn how to make her happy when you ain't just on your back or she on her back. Learn how to have a relationship so that way it'll grow through some things.
Exactly. And
get more mentally than physically.
Right. And then here, Greg, this is one of my little nephews, y'all. I call him my nephew. And him saying that he's 32. See, we also have a generational gap here. Because we in our 50s and carrying on. So we coming from a different time era, which is why it's important. I'm saying his particular generation of women, you know, Yeah, we got a lot of that women bashing and carrying on, but his particular generation of women have accepted the type of men that they have accepted in their lives. And now, whether it is by circumstances or it was by choice, they've accepted that. And what I mean by circumstances is, let's see, his mother and that would be in our age bracket. So we're the children of that first generation of what welfare and stuff had done to us about removing the family. You know, we're the first generation of that. So we understand what that was when daddy wasn't there. And then all of a sudden the prisons and stuff started over. That was us in our 20s when the cracker stuff hit.
Well, 25 right now, 25 to 35 is the creator of the mama that's raising the kids by themselves.
Right.
And the stripper pole university came out in between them. You know what I'm saying? That's when you know what I'm saying? That's exactly what that is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're 32 years old and you're probably upset. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about Greg, you know what I'm saying? But in that age, you know what I'm saying? Somebody come over your house as a friend of yours and walk in and be like, oh, bruh, I met your mom, you know what I'm saying, when I first walked in the strip club. You know what I'm saying? Because she was a dancer.
Wait a minute. Hold on. No, okay. You said that stuff was back in the day. The difference is we have the internet and we actually talk about it. You can do enough digging, you'll find all sorts of stuff out of back in the day. But that's what I'm trying to explain to you, sweetie. You can find it out, but also you have to understand the history. And once you see it and find it out, you get to see exactly where the breakdown is. And you get to see the shift. Now, you want to talk about Claudine? Claudine had 6 kids that was on the welfare. Rewatch that movie, honey. Because when Claudine tried to get a man, they told her she couldn't have a man. When Claudine's son was 17, that was still her son. He ain't grown till he's 18, but they tried to kick him out because he was a man, because he had all them damn clothes up in there. And they thought, the welfare thought, this is just a movie, damn, I got so passionate about it. But the welfare children came up in there and told her, well, who was this? She said, this is my son. These are my kids. Oh, well, why you got an iron? Why you got this? And did you remember the scene when they went down there to the welfare? And she said, a fraud. Everything was wrong. Well, you know, you got to do this. And James Earl Jones said, so wait a minute. If I don't tell you that I live with her, I'm committing a fraud. But if I do tell you, then you get to deduct whatever I bring into the house for her, so that we don't get ahead. We end up getting 2 steps back. So, but if I give her a sandwich, if I buy food because I don't want her to lose her food stamps and she don't report it, then that's a fraud. Did you see that scene? See, when he broke that down, how it's designed for that. But the moral of that particular story was they took their chance because they got married anyway and said, baby, we could do this. And that was them about building a family, and how a man who was in love with her took her and all 6 of her kids and got her off welfare. That's the story. That there was that. Okay. But she was on the welfare. But
they don't build them like Claudine no more.
And if you like me, the songs are glad them singing very quickly. Keep away from her, stay away from the welfare man. And that there was how we were raised. To have food stamps was a disgrace. To sit there and have food stamps, we were embarrassed to go use them food stamps in the store. Now we got an EBT card, honey. Everybody knows shit. We trying to buy them now. Girl, you got some stamps, child, you trying to get rid of. Okay, it done became a way of life. Okay, it became a way of life.
It's a credit card.
What? He said, I know how it went down historically, Uncle Meach. I'm sure. Wait a minute. And then he says, well, how was it going down in real life? Why did they need the ending they put in the movie? Why did they need that ending? Because that was an empowerment for us as Black folks, child. That there, mind you, again, here we go with the times, and this is now talking about filming and keeping us in a better light and trying to have a better way for us. Because you have to remember, Claudine came out in what, 73, 74, I think it was. And because of that there was about us. We're coming out of assassination of Martin Luther King. We had just got the Voters' Rights Act passed. The Black Panthers had just been disrupted and carrying on. And so now we're sitting up there trying to make a living. They were sitting up there automatically passing kids because they didn't want the high school kids to. That's because y'all watch Good Times when JJ got kicked out of school. They would just pass him and he was dumb as a box of rocks and didn't learn nothing. But because he was aging out, he didn't have a trade. He didn't do nothing. And that's what they did with us. So that there, if the man, if you couldn't work and the factory wasn't hiring or whatever, because that's when inflation first got started. When the factory wasn't hiring, then hell, only thing you had was to go on welfare. But if you went on welfare, you couldn't be married in the Black community. And so we go back to that cycle. So the whole idea of Claudine was, we gonna make this work because it's like, listen, I got a job. I mean, I love you. I'm gonna take care of you and these damn kids because they need a father. They need some structure up in here because they
That's right, Coretta.
And this
we're gonna take care of these children.
Why, right. So that's why they had to have that ending up in there to say, listen, you know, I'm trying to help her out. You telling me if I help her out, it's gonna be a discredit to her. Well, wait a minute. Then what the hell am I doing? Because see, if I do help her, then you gonna take from the benefits. Then you gonna take my check and say I got to pay back in. No, fuck it. We don't need it.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to take a breath. Look.
Okay.
But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, we're coming up on that 30 out of 2. So
see, we done went into a whole nother thing. And so, okay.
I think we need to have an empowerment moment based on the toxicity of parenting. And not only we can return to this as a three-peat, maybe I can reach out to somebody that is actually a child psychologist in the communities today and see if they can come on board. And because this is something that needs to be talked about, needs to be heard. And I think we need to visit that nephew. Funny though, I like him. I like him because he's speaking, but you know what I'm saying. A lot of times when I talk to young men, you know what I say first when we get in opinionated conversations. Have you ever had a block of cheese and a can of orange juice that had a white label and it just said orange juice and black letters on it?
Okay, right. Okay, don't do me.
If you tell me no, I don't want to talk to you.
not the can of meat, the beef, the pork, and the chicken. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Grandma, ain't no milk. Reach under that cabinet and get that powder.
Get that box. Get that box of milk and just add water, baby. That's crazy. Oh, Lord.
At the end of the day, you know what, Apostle Cravon Smith, it was wonderful having you on here because I knew you would be a value.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all, fellas. Thank y'all so much for letting me come on and enjoy it.
Yes, this is very spirited, and I love it, honey, because see, these are the kinds of things that over here that, you know, we like to do and et cetera, et cetera. And everybody, if y'all read the description, honey, I didn't get to the other stuff because I knew this was going to be a hot button, and I knew it. I just knew it. But listen, what we're going to do here is, that, as I said, this is July. This is our 14th year, so this is season 14 for us. I want you to keep it locked and loaded and get ready because we got some more stuff coming in tomorrow. We'll be with y'all tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. I got to go through this computer and clean it up so I can get this thing to run a little faster. I got a lot of smut on here, honey. I'm going to just be honest. There's a lot of smut in this thing that I got to go clean and whitewash, child. Lord.
Porn is a sin, okay?
Judge me not, oh gentle savior, honey. Anyway, listen, we're going to let you guys go because it is past the witching hour. I'm sure some of y'all, honey, trying to get dressed to go still make the club. It's Friday night. And okay, y'all be careful, be safe. Whatever you do, do it responsibly, honey. I have no judgment calls, honey.
Just no, I'm going to go to Club King size.
How about that, honey? Okay. So listen, honey, we thank you. We love you, honey. If you love me like you say you do, honey, I want you to tell all your family, your friends, your good Judies, your bros, and come on to like, subscribe, and to share. But if you hate me, if you got a neck roll, if you got to snap me down, if you got to read me and all that, you can tell all of y'all, and I'm going to save the word because we got a pastor here, enemies, to like, subscribe, and to share. Because do know this, that everything that we're doing over here at Three the Hard Way, the syndicate, darling, everything that we're doing over here in any way, shape, style, form, or fashion, honey, will move forward. You may finish all of your crumpets, my darling, because the tea has been dished. And you've been dishing tea, darling, with Big Meat, honey. And Minister Lavelle, and also our special guest correspondent, honey, the Apostle Cravon Smith, honey. Okay.
Bless you.
All right. So on that, my wait a minute. I ain't got to see. You know, God humbles me all the time. I ain't ready with the closing. Hold down. Oh, there we go. I had to always, I had to pause. All right. So on that note, my darlings, honey, until the next time that we see each other, listen, make sure y'all go like my page. Go over there to Demetrius Taylor for Mayor. Go like the page over there. Get the QR code, honey, because a girl got to raise some coin. I need about, I think I could do this campaign with 50K. Y'all help me get to 50K, baby. Come on. Because we got some stuff. Listen, it's going to be a race. We can do this, and I need your help to do this, all right? So on that note, honey, and I was off key. Scene.